Last time on the Morched Montract, let's play this.
We had a moral dilemma.
We had
We,
an
we,
OG
we had a
moral
really,
dilemma.
really short final fight and a moral dilemma, which culminated in the party failing to reconcile with one another without the threat of combat looming over their heads. Whether or
They
not
did anyway.
this dream was to be saved or abandoned. Things came very close to breaking out into open combat on the roof of the cathedral housing the egg that Daiza so desperately tried to get at. And Reika and Sayako, both teary-eyed, finally ended up amending their differences, making their way to the top of the highest tower, and together the four of them all touched the egg. With this contact, they were presented with a choice. They could give themselves to the dream, in as much as their faculties would allow them. They could deplete their level down to 1 in order to reinforce the dream's longevity, its strength, and its ability to keep out the real Amatsumi Kaboshi. Or they could draw in everything that made the dream what it was into themselves in exchange for a brief, very powerful upgrade in their potential, one that Sayako is familiar with. Marimsho is the only one that elected to put herself in, and as such, she was reduced to the state she was in at the beginning of the campaign. However, Reika, Sayako, Terra, and, sensing Marimsho's trepidation, Ro, they all elected to draw from the dream, to allow themselves enough power as all possible for one final spurt to make the wrong things with the world right again. After dispersing the dream, the outside was no longer a wasteland waiting far below at the level of the cathedral. Instead, it was a wasteland that had risen. There was no longer a staircase leading down from this bell tower, but it met its apex, and the cathedral has been long since buried in this reflection of reality. So the party steps out of the room to see the massive form of what looked to be the statue of Horosha, but one that is not made of stone, and one that has cavities and holes littering its body, its arms, its legs, even its head, and snaking into and out of it, almost like a suit of armor, is a shadowy, amalgamous shape of some black creature. It has the unmistakable presence of a Matsumi Kaboshi. Standing in front of it is the 13-tailed Ozuma that Sayako briefly glimpsed, with the 10 severed foxtails wrapped around his arm. He wields a strange weapon, looks to be a staff with a ring that distorts the air in the middle of it, attached. You know Talim from Soul Calibur?
Yep.
It's kind of that
I love
going
it.
on, except instead of just throwing the blade around, it's got a staff attached to it.
Yeah.
Geki Kenko in a corrupted form, and Susanoo accompany Ozuma, and beneath all of them is the far decrepit remains of Susanoo's Tower Tsukumagami, half submerged in the ash beneath. And so, having come into this great potential, roll initiative.
Alright. What's Rose initiative? I guess it'll be just the 20 then.
We're just gonna theorem mine this one.
I can do an assisting map if Marimsho is having difficulty, but yes.
Okay. No problem.
Did outside Geki Kenko ever meet Marimsho? Yes, he must have.
Yeah, sure. We'll figure that out later.
Technically, 100 years past, so she would just be distant.
Fuck you, by the way.
Sayako steps forward, raises staff. She side glances Reika. How much time do you think we have left?
More than enough.
Marum Show's still muttering. What have we done? Please, I didn't want this. Turns a tear-streaked face to them and says, I can't even help you save it. Jackie can't
Marin
help.
Show, you've lit our way this whole journey. This time, we'll light you.
And with a rumbling to enunciate Terra's words, the ground shifts underneath each of you and lifts up as the ash bleeds away. You guys raise an elevation in front of Horosha, Matsumika Horosha, Ozuma, all of them, as they slowly sink in your field of vision. And as the ash falls away, you're standing on top of a spirit dragon-sized roe.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
It gives its chirp, which is now much deeper and much less characteristic of the dragon you're familiar with. And
I try to hug her as much as my arms can reach around her neck now. Like, I always knew you had it in you.
you just fall down, you fall to the ground, and you hug big spirit dragon underneath you. And sensing your guys' intentions, surges down and begins the assault on your aggressors. So, Reika, you are first. And then Sayako and Terra, you can decide who goes next.
Alright then. One last. What's the
Your massive stand, now with renewed vigor, appears. It seems to have both the purple and the yellow of the radiant and the psychic faculties that it encompasses.
Utsunushi no Okami. Rika is gonna point the three of them out. And she's gonna look at Sayako. I'll leave your brother to you, will I?
He's had this a long time coming.
Well, unless you want me to fight them all.
She just spits out a chuckle and gets ready.
Fine, I'll deal with your uncle then. And she's gonna leap off row and diving attack at Susano.
Alright, so you leap off, and basically all of your swords immediately come out of Hiten Mitsurugi, and in a single shared stroke, they're all of a sudden buffeted by a huge windstorm coming from behind Susanoo, as mirroring wind blades to match each of yours come in to parry each of them, but yours just tear straight through. Susanoo, he frantically moves backwards, trying to follow your momentum and keep away from the very lethal edges that you're wielding right now. Doing anything else?
Yeah, she's gonna draw her swords and she's gonna make her attack. Or do you not need me to roll?
Go ahead and roll.
Wow, look at those rolls. Look at them.
Damage, damage, damage. So as he's furiously backpedaling, you're very willing to make pursuit. And the 3 cuts, incredibly measured with perfect technique and precision, they immediately tear through the entirety of this corrupted Susanoo's being and just obliterate him into 3 different parts that shatter out into ash. The Horosha raises one of its arms and thrusts one of its massive forlorn blades into the ground, and 2 more Susanoo rise in its place.
Well, that certainly.
Rise to the occasion, huh?
The Susanoo, both in tandem, beckon to you and raise both of their hands. His signature hurricane blade appears in both of their grasps.
All right, then. Do you want me to keep fighting them, or do you want to move on?
Sure. Sayako, what do you want to do? So Reika leaps down off of Ro to engage Susanoo, takes him out, and then 2 more copies rise up.
I'm gonna have Tara go first. So you said that we get to decide.
Sure. Go ahead, Tara.
Okay, sure. So, we are atop this row looking down at our aggressor.
Yep.
So that's a pretty far distance, I would say, right?
Ro is anywhere from 300 feet off the ground to 30 feet off of the ground. It's sort of doing that snaking dragon pose, and you can be located anywhere on its back that you'd like to be.
300 feet is pretty high off the ground.
It's at about eye level with the Horosha.
I think
Wait,
that...
hold on. Tara,
Yeah.
here. She takes the case off of her back containing Arashi and she tosses it to Tara.
You catch a small scroll case, and you almost hear it thrumming with greetings.
Take care of Arashi.
I will.
Alright. You now
Hey,
have
Arashi.
Arashi.
You want to help out?
Can you click Arashi just so Tara knows exactly what it can do?
Oh yeah. Ryoji, Autumn Flight. That's the relic.
And then I'll just let you access its stat block, Tara. In player's journals.
It does say it must be attuned to,
Who
but...
gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck?
This is cool, it'll be fine.
Alright, can you see it? Should be under characters.
Arashi. With the Sharingan symbol.
Yep. It's not the Sharingan symbol, but yes.
Close enough, right?
It is pretty close. You're right. Racist.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding. So you catch Arashi.
Catch Arashi, plop him out, fly a bit more, even higher.
So you're ascending on Arashi?
Yeah.
Alright, so Arashi swirls out. It's now a bunch of spring leaves to represent the verdant life that you all just absorbed. You leap up into its mist and it catches you easily. It's a little like being on a surfboard for the first time, but you manage to orient yourself as it zooms you upwards.
Oh, the poor baby has anxious.
You doing
Have
anything?
Koga help us out one final time, yeah?
Oh shit. You're 360
Exactly.
feet up. Is Arashi dashing?
Yes.
You're 420 feet up. Blaze it. You add a blaze it modifier to whatever attack you roll.
Blaze it.
So, Do I roll a normal shuriken
Yep.
attacking roll?
Roll a normal shuriken, and then I'll let you roll the damage after I tell you what it is.
Yeah, do.
All right, and then we add the 420 modifier. So you roll a 442 to hit. That hits. Who are you attacking?
She saw the Matsusha make more.
Yep.
So she's gonna kind of figure that that's just gonna be the system for that. So we're gonna go directly for the.
All right. Now, here's the big question. As soon as the shuriken leaves your hand, you feel a presence in your mind, a questioning presence. Do you want force, restrainment, or obliteration?
Jeez.
Jesus Christ. Obliteration.
What's your casting modifier bonus?
That would be 5.
All right,
Because
so
charisma's like
roll a
that.
1d10 plus 5 per 10 feet being thrown.
Do you want?
So 42d10 plus... Fuck. Plus 200 and... 220? No, 200... 42 times 5. 210. So 42d10 plus 210.
Koga. Guide this well.
So you take the shuriken, you loose it, and you immediately, with a single thought, wish for this creature's obliteration. The shuriken travels, it very quickly leaves your sight, and you're sort of waiting for an impact to happen, and then all of a sudden, several massive rifts open, and black lasers shoot in. They all collide with one another as they create this massive energy shuriken that's constantly growing in size the further it travels. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger as it gets closer and closer to Horosha before, like, Amatsu Mikaboshi realizes what's about to happen. It drops 2 forlorn blades and braces itself, and then with a massive crash, it skids about 200 feet back as it catches 2 of the shuriken's blades, the one between them burying deep into its chest, as it just barely stops itself from being completely annihilated. The shuriken, you see it somehow maintain its torque, like its inertial spinning force, and the top right arm of Horosha is just torn to shreds as it stops being able to completely restrain it, and it buzzsaws through past Horosha and then evaporates into black energy as it hits the ashen wasteland behind him. Horosha is now missing his upper right arm. There's just 2 pieces. The top half of Horosha hasn't fallen off. It's still hovering in place, but it basically got completely torn through.
Jeez.
Holy shit.
For the record, Sayako did more damage with the disintegrate cannons.
I'd imagine. But that was still just as cool as I want. And, you know,
So when that happens,
bonus action.
Reika, you're probably just beating the shit out of the Susanoo clones. One of them decombobulates and just shatters before your eyes without you having to do anything with it.
You mean Eco here?
It discombobulates. I'm using the word, Marim Show.
Okay.
It confuses itself to death. Alright, what else are you doing, Tara?
It hurts itself in this
I'd
confusion.
imagine that alone was sufficient enough to inspire everyone.
Sure, everyone gets an inspiration dice.
Whoosh.
And that'll be her turn.
Alright, Sayako.
All right, so Sayako is going to haste herself and Reika.
Okay. Reika,
Feel
I
like-
think Reika's too far away. You have
Oh.
distance spell, never mind. You're
Who
good.
cares? It's
Yeah, I do. How far away is Reika?
Doesn't matter. You're both
Doesn't
hasted.
matter. All right. I'm gonna distance spell haste myself and Reika. Whoosh. With that speed up, I'm gonna use a bonus action to do my freaking otherworldly flight.
Okay.
All right, so she spreads out her tails, manifests some misty clouds of her own, leaps off of Ro, and takes to the air. She's flying.
So your tails are just sort of like idly spinning, and you've kind of got like Super Saiyan flight going on. You don't really have to do anything active.
No,
Yeah.
no, she flies like tails.
That's what I was thinking too. Not gonna lie.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, she
Hey
can,
guys, I'll let you do anything except fly like tails. Fuck that.
she can pretend she's flying.
You can
like
fly
tails.
like Knuckles. You cannot fly like Tails.
She can pretend that she's flying like tails.
She can.
She can make little airplane noises.
She's not going to. She does a little bit of a twirl midair as she faces Ozuma, looking at him from on high. Don't suppose other me told you to remember yourself, the true me.
He stiffens as he locks eyes with you. He straightens himself up, throws his shoulders back, brings the staff with the large bladed ring on it to bear, raises it above his head, and then, almost as if it were a flagpole or a banner, he slams it into the ground next to him. Seems he's very resolute.
All right then. She's gonna take Doryuji, and she's gonna twirl it above her head, and she is going to just lay in with Ryujin's thunder.
Oh shit, alright.
Blast a solid green line of light, 60-foot line starting for myself, and that line of light. He has to make a dex saving throw.
Alright, so you're in the air, you're flying, you take out Doryuji, spin it in front of yourself, and then throw your arms to the side. From the tip of each of your tails, fanned out behind you, a soft tendril of green light extends from the tips of each, coming around and manifesting in front of you, almost like the Death Star laser prep. And then a big stand version of Ryujin's head appears behind you and just looses a massive torrent of lightning as it careens
Mega
down.
flare!
Big ol' fucking green laser of just death ray shoots down
Morn.
towards Ozuma. He takes the staff with the ring, spins it in front of himself, and then he shoves his arm through its middle. And his arm doesn't come out the other side. A large red apparition of Ryujin's head forms, and an equal but opposite blast of lightning meets yours in the middle.
Beam struggle.
Beam struggle.
Rotate the stick. Rotate the right stick. Rotate the right stick.
And Sayako, you feel like you guys are exactly a match for each other, but about 6 seconds later, Ro turns its head, almost as if Ozuma's an annoyance, and looses a massive cloud of blue spirit fire that just completely engulfs the red apparition of Ryujin's head, along with Ozuma. You feel the constitution behind the beam struggle that you're fighting against immediately slacken, and with a surge, you bolster Ryujin's thunder with all you have in that one instant, and it completely engulfs the red lightning and shoots down a big-ass fucking shockwave as it hits the Ashen Wasteland.
She blows a loose strand of bangs out of her face.
So as everything clears out, you see Ozuma. He's sort of fighting back to his feet. A lot of his clothes have been burnt to singes, and he's barely holding himself up, but he does spin the staff in front of him and readopt his stance. And then Geki Kenko raises his bong and takes a big old puff and then blows it into the ground. And another rumble. Reika, this one right underneath you, before the Tower Tsukumagami that you had sailed to Ina on raises itself in all its decrepit glory from underneath the Ashen Wasteland. Two massive shadowy arms shoot out of different floors on its sides and then surge up towards Ro, and it bear hugs it and starts trying to judo slam Ro into the ground. It seems like it's actually kind of a match. So the two are struggling right now. Ro can't fly as freely as she was. And back to your turn, Reika.
Okay, Reika's gonna see this happen.
Oh, wait. Bottom of the round. Everyone
Wait,
roll.
we didn't have me.
Yeah, you're level 1.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be directing Ro.
Oh, yeah, you can direct Ro. I just made it breathe spirit fire. You can have it do other stuff, sure.
Okay. Because I'm going to, I think this is cantrip. I already can use even at level 1.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to use whatever minor illusion or whatever to send my voice over to Geki Kenko. And I'm going to say, Geki Kenko, do you know me? Do you recognize me? Geki Kenko.
Roll a persuasion check until you crit.
Okay.
Because Miriam shows that.
Never mind. You don't even have to fucking crit. 32? What the hell? Alright, so Geki Kenko was playing its bong. As soon as your words reach it, it stops and stutters. It pauses. It doesn't say anything, but it's clearly noticed what you said.
Okay, so does my next round of words come at Ro's next round?
Okay. So Sayako, you watch as Ozuma in his damaged state. He throws his staff into the air, and it spins. He then throws both of his arms out, and 13 different portals correlating with each of his tails open up. He is currently casting the Radiant version of Contra Meteor Swarm.
Counterspell.
Alright, so this is how the counterspell manifests. The beams of light start shooting up towards Ro, towards you, towards Terra, towards everybody. And you immediately throw your arms back in the exact same gesture, and 5 portals appear, and you meet each of his beams of light with beams of your own, and each one negates each other. It is still counterspell, so it uses a 3rd level spell slot, but...
But you've got 8 million spell slots.
Alright, so Ozuma then turns and falls back to another position before turning back around, catching his strange spatial ring, and then yep, that. And then we're gonna hit Reika's turn. Everyone roll a hit dice.
Alright.
Except for
dice?
Terra. No, don't spend it. Everyone roll a hit dice except for Terra.
Okay. I don't think does Ro have hit dice?
Yes. Ro's hit dice is 1d8 plus 2.
Okay. 1d8 plus 2. That would be 4.
Alright, and then roll 1 for Miriam Show.
Okay. And it's also, that would be 1d8 plus, I don't remember what my constitution was at level 1.
Click on hit dice in your character sheet.
You can just roll the 1d8. Subtract whatever the result is from your max health.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Reika's turn.
Okay, so Reika feels that. Okay then. Ah. Looks like I might not have the time to enjoy this. Oh. do I? And now, Futsunushi, time comes to a stop.
Hold on, let me get the sound bite.
Shouldn't you be saying Zawa?
Hey, I recognize.
Alright, so everything comes to a standstill. Specks of ash linger in the air without moving as all life comes to a still right in front of you, Reika.
Okay, so that's
Well, alright then.
5 turns of time stop. Okay.
Let's see if you can outstrip the fucking laser circus.
So what Reika is going to do is Reika is going to, using her haste, she is going to bolt back, run up the full length of the tower,
Okay.
get up into the air, activate Strike of Ningen, and then she is going to bring all of her swords down on the tower, basically until she cuts straight through.
Alright, so you spin around on your heel as life comes to a still in front of you. You sprint forward, kicking up ash behind you. You, without losing any momentum, turn the 90 degrees as you begin sprinting up the tower, which is also similarly frozen in time. You sort of put your arms behind you, Naruto style, and Futsunushi draws all your swords to bear as you reach the apex of the tower and kick off. You soar up into the air, and you get a brief moment of clarity where you see everything underneath you. You see the tower, you see the heavily damaged Horosha inhabited by Matsumi Kaboshi. You see Ro struggling with the massive shadow arms. Probably about 20 feet away at the same height as you, you see Terra just sort of watching things on her hands and knees on top of Arashi. And you see Sayako reeling a little from holding Ozuma back. Futsunushi holding all your swords to bear. Strike of Ningen activates. A sigil appears behind you, and massive versions of each sword appear as if Futsunushi was holding all of them. You feel yourself able to grasp upon their presence, and as your momentum slowly reverses and you begin to fall, you run down the length of the tower, slashing at it innumerable times. It's basically being cut through like butter with the hot knives that is your arsenal. And as you reach the bottom, you skid to a stop in the ash. Time resumes. The tower sort of stagnates before crumbling into rubble.
Reika's gonna shit Sayako like.
She raises her eyebrows and she kind of does a sort of. She's gonna roll deception. Deception on that. She kind of does a sort of half like, eh. But deep down, she's actually really fucking impressed. That was cool.
Reika just nods.
She furrows her brow and nods back to Reika as she focuses back on the fight.
So as you nod, Reika, you turn your attention back to Horosha and the remaining Susanoo as a massive hurricane blade clashes with Futsunushi's swords. You parry it to the side and then rip through that Susanoo. The Horo shot sticks 2 more swords in, and another 5 Susanoo rise to meet you. Terra, your turn.
I'm gonna use Firestorm on the fucking Horosha.
All right. Roll the damage dice. Because Horosha is a gargantuan creature, you can affect it with all of the 10-foot cubes. So 70d10 total.
70d10.
70d10.
Burn away to act.
So Terra, you fight back to your feet on the unstable ground that is Arashi, holding you hundreds and hundreds of feet up in the air. On the ground far beneath you, you spread your arms, and then massive red sigils appear in the air above multiple different points, and
Behold the flames of war!
massive pillars of flame shoot out and engulf a portion of Horosha each before following through and just kicking into the ashen wasteland before dissipating. It's in even more pieces than it was previous. The shadowy energy inhabiting it seems to falter significantly, as only about 30% of this sort of existence, this inhabited shell, is persisting. It's barely holding itself together. Sayako, your turn.
Did you get that, by the way?
Get what?
I'm asking you, Eric.
No problem.
All right. What she got left? That was her. That was her biggest bonk, by the way. Is the fucking Doryuji Mega Laser. All right. How's Ozuma? He's looking pretty beat up, right?
Ozuma, you almost one-shot him.
Almost. Well, glad to know that we're made of sterner stuff still. Alright, let's do this, Ozuma. She's gonna dash at him, and as she dashes at him, she is going to bring about some foxfires, and she's going to Eldritch Blast.
You shoot 4 different foxfires at him. So you sort of level yourself, and with a small sonic boom, you surge forward. He readies himself to meet you. He raises the weapon, and as you blast past him, each of your foxfires accompanies you in a giant spiral blast. He meets it in a sort of spell parry with his ring blade, spinning past you as you guys dash past each other, spinning on each of your heels to turn to face each other once again. He runs towards you, chops twice. You bring your tails around and manifest magic shieldy energy to sort of push it to the side each time as you guys sort of enter this fox-like dance with each other, where Ozuma is slowly losing ground.
This is the opposite of what I wanted, you know. I wanted to protect you, all of you.
As you're fighting with him, you see the edges of the ring blade are starting to deteriorate and fracture off. He stops, and it seems like he's catching his breath, but his stance also relaxes slightly. His eyes squint a little bit, almost as if he's trying to discern a little more to your words. And then, almost as if the trepidation wasn't there in the first place, he re-steels himself, brings his staff to bear, and points it at you.
Sayako also furrows her brow. She seems pretty set on her course.
Alright, you guys are about to samurai duel. What spell are you using?
Oh, I know. Let me just... yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Let me just, private you it. She mutters under her breath. I might not be the swordsman Reika is, but... GM. And... there we go. Did it send?
I don't see anything.
Ugh. Okay.
It's /W space GM space message.
Alright. Well, here, let's try this.
Alright, there we go.
There you go.
Ooh.
This time, though...
Wow. So, Sayako puts one hand down near her thighs, hand open, and then one up above her head. And in the hand above her head, a Naginagara with green accents and a draconic flavoring to it manifests. In her lower hand, an Odachi with fox-like intonations and a wolf-shaped hilt. Both of them manifest, and she slowly brings the lower one to the left and the upper one to the right. As she enters a stance, Ozuma and Sayako both dash for one another, and planning for his parries, Sayako, you skid slightly, you shoot another 4 Eldritch Blasts, and he's forced to move to the side and use his unarmed strikes to dissipate them, and giving you just enough room to cross slash through his ring and past him.
She continues to stare off into the horizon.
You hear a as he falls to one knee behind you.
Her eye just kind of shaking as she slightly looks up.
You hear the rest of his body follow. Up above, Ro, witnessing this, lets loose the loudest chirping roar you've ever heard from her. Massive teardrops are shattering the wasteland as they're basically like bathtubs of water hitting the ground as Ro just bawls at how emotional that was. However, it's no longer grappling with the tower, so what do you want Ro to do?
Oh no.
Try rejoining Discord.
Okay, now I'm back. I think. I hope.
Welcome.
Well,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
So basically, Sayako just downed Ozuma, and then Ro started crying. What do you want Ro to do? It's your turn.
Ro can. I mean, Ro can keep doing what she's doing. I realize you can NPC Ro.
Sure.
I want Maram Show to be the one talking to Geki Kenko.
Alright, we'll say it's your turn then. Marum Show. What do you want to say to Geki Kenko?
Geki, I know what it looks like. It's all. I know what it's like to lose everyone. Every you love. My world just died behind me, but you can. There's still. You were here for me so many times. Please let me be here for you.
Roll persuasion again.
Sorry, what?
Roll persuasion again. Alright, so Geki Kenko, his considering expression softens further as his stance relaxes and his bong is slowly let loose out of his grip. It clatters to the dusty wasteland beneath him, and he regards you for a second before bringing up both of his hands and hand sign in front of him. He explodes with power as he activates the Path of Sation and turns around. He raises his arms, and a sigil, one that you recognize as a sigil encompassing all it means to be a yokai, Marum Show, opens underneath Horosha's feet. All of a sudden, the wasteland itself begins to swirl in on itself. Massive winds kick up and obscure any vision past a couple miles out as this entire vicinity becomes the eye of a massive storm with Horosha at its center.
Oh, Geki, I love you. I just want you to know. I still exist, and I love you.
Horosha fights back to one of its knees, raises its 3 remaining arms, holding its 1 remaining forlorn blade, and it strikes forward, and the forlorn blade breaks against an invisible barrier. Your turn, Reika.
Okay, so there's five Susanos in front of her.
Yes. And they're basically going to be about as hard to dispatch as
You can bring.
as some comparison for really easy enemies.
A goblin?
Yeah, Reika's just gonna storm her way through them. And she's
So you do 1 dash slash with 5 simultaneous attacks, and you bisect each of them in a different way before just continuing on.
yeah, she's going for Horosha, and she's going to get into a position, and she's going to ready her 4 forlorn blades, and then she's going to lick up the rest of them. Just give me an opening.
Alright, Reika holds her turn. What's Psycho do?
She wants to give Reika an opening. Alright. She lets go of both the Odachi both the Adachi and the Naginata. She lets them float at her side before guiding them to strike at the corrupted Horosha. And she's gonna follow behind that with 2 rounds of Eldritch Blast. So that's 8 Eldritch Blasts and 2 weapons.
Alright, Tara, what are you doing?
Good way to give her an opening. Let's see. Touch. So it's not gonna work. Does Graviton Lance bind in place?
Yes.
Cool, that'll be a good opening then.
Alright, what level are you casting it at?
I don't think I'm gonna use an 8th level spell, so let's go with the...
Alright, so Sayako runs up first, and as Horosha rears back to make another attack at the barrier with its 1 remaining forlorn blade, Sayako flies both of the spirit weapons up and they catch the Forlorn Blade, or whatever's left of it anyways, in a cross parry before a massive volley of Eldritch Blasts fires out from behind her and just begins peppering the Horosha, knocking it back with each impact. A massive force field, or not a massive force field, a massive gravitational singularity conjures itself in the air directly above Horosha, lifting it slightly off the ground, and its legs sort of flail as it tries to re-find purchase on the ground. And then Ro snakes back like Trogdor, takes one of its arms and brings it back, winds it up like Popeye, and then surges forward. And simultaneous to the graviton lands, ripping down through Horosha. Ro punches through Geki Kenko's barrier, shattering it and offering its arm as a ramp for Reika to run up.
You want your opening?
There it is.
Fine then. Reika's gonna run up when she gets to the ramp at the top. She stops momentarily. And now, one last time, time comes to a stop.
Time does indeed come to a standstill. And this close, you see through the empty sockets, past Horosha's mask, into the depths that lay within. You see Amatsu Mikaboshi. And you see fear.
So Reika is going to walk up the slope until she gets to in front of Amatsu Mikaboshi.
There you are.
You know, you've been quite a pain for all of us. I have to admit, staring in the face of something that has effectively killed me twice, everyone else at least once, I didn't know what I was going to feel. Gonna look up at it. I wonder though, do you even know why we're here? I don't think you actually do. Well, you are responsible for my world dying, whatever state of existence I'm in right now. So many people. And, you also managed to kill the one person who tried to help you. As mistakes go, it's up there.
I can't take this seriously when I remember she's talking to him. Stop.
Yeah, there's a reason why she stopped typing. You know,
Time stock monologue.
every last bit of, regardless of your reasons, just really can barely hold myself. Just plunging my swords into you, finishing you once and for all. Maybe I would have done that at the start. And she's gonna walk up to Uematsu Mikaboshi, and she's gonna put her hand on it.
You reach your arm through one of Horosha's empty eye sockets, and you sort of feel this very strangely solid, smoky presence.
I'm gonna use the Tongue of the Sun and Wind feature.
you click that.
One second.
Well, at least the music looped back. Great.
This is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Everything you've done, how you've tried to carve your way into our world, how you've warped everything that we stand for. Maybe Diza went about it the wrong way. Diza allowed you in on your terms. You want to know what you've done wrong? I'm going to give you one opportunity. And Reika,
Does some bullshit. Let's see what the bullshit is. Shall we?
You seem like you've been looking bullshit, Eric.
Alright. That's oof. So, Reika, you've... in the face of this absolute danger, you furrow your brow, you close your eyes. And you feel like you came so close. You almost reached it. Massive spires of spiraling shadow energy erupt out of the back of Hodosha's head and surge towards you, and Futsunushi behind you catches each of them. It's not even really a fight, as Amatsumi Kaboshi lashes back out at you. The faceplate disintegrates in front of you, and forward steps a black, corrupted version of Sayatsu. It lunges for you with barely enough consistency for you to even recognize what it is, and before it reaches you, it dissipates into the wind. Amatsumi Kaboshi, too wounded to keep it coherent. It has refused.
But it refused.
What do you do?
Is that conceivably something that I'll light your way could make a critical success? I didn't see a roll or anything, but I just want to know.
There was no roll, and Terra is frozen in time.
Oh, okay. Just wanted.
so Reika is going to take all four forlorn blades, bring them all together in one. Very well. Wouldn't hurt one last dream. But I suppose we all have to wake up eventually. And then she is just going to take all four and cut straight through.
So everyone else, You had seen Reika run up Ro's arm, scale the chest plate of Horosha, and then all of a sudden, the faceplate for Horosha disappears, and whatever remnants of the helmet were still there all fracture into pieces and tumble down, landing in different locations in the wasteland. And the shadowy energy is gone. Ro's momentum follows through. It snakes back around to face all of you as whatever was left to hold up the empty shell of Horosha is now gone, and the massive humanoid frame falls to a single knee and then holds itself up with an arm down to an elbow and collapses completely.
Is it over?
As over as I can possibly make it.
Naramsho slowly walks down to where Geki Kento is and reaches out to give him a hug.
As you hug him, you wrap your arms around Geki Kenko. He turns, he hugs you back, but his form is losing its cohesion. It's gradually dissipating in a mist in different locations on his body, and almost before you can even formulate any words, he is gone.
She just falls to her knees. She's weeping. She's weeping bitterly.
As you fall down and you see the backs of your hands, you notice the same sort of loss of cohesion is very gradually starting to affect you. Terra, Arashi brings you down to bear with everybody else, and you all slowly congregate at the foot of the heap of whatever mess this husk of Horosha now represents.
We have one last task to set about. We've excised the corruption plaguing the world, the real world. Now begins the healing.
Reika, Sayako, Ro, roll 5 hit dice each.
We don't have much time. Nope, that's not hit dice.
That's initiative, and it's a GM roll. Don't roll for Maram Show, because I want to keep you around for this, and you're not going to be around if you have to roll 5.
5.
So we're going to function you off of rows. Add them together, and then subtract them from your max health.
Yep. We don't have much time, I know that. But what little time we do have left, we can set the course right again. Sayako's going to put the chakra basin down in front of her, and she's going to sit down in front of it. But I need you guys to trust me.
What else is left at this point but to trust you? But to trust that at least some good will come.
She takes a deep breath, glances over towards the fallen Ozama.
He is slowly wisping away with the breeze.
Let's make our last moment worth it. For this world and the next.
Alright, what do you do?
She waits for people to take her hands and form a big old hand grasp circle.
You guys all form a big 420 circle around the basin of chakra.
Alright. She is going to focus on channeling everyone's chakra into the basin.
Roll chakra alignment.
If this fails, you better crit success it.
It fails.
Hey, look! I'll light your way.
All right. So Sayako, you realize that you don't have even close to the reserves of energy that would enable you to do this, but for some reason, when your composure breaks and your eyes flit open, your gaze locks with Tara's. And in that single instant, you draw on some deep reserve that you never knew was there, and a swarm of multicolor energy just pours out of you, pulled from everyone else, including yourself, and swirls into the chakra basin.
All right, and then she's going to use the wish scroll.
Scroll?
Spell.
Okay.
She's going to use the wish spell, and her wish is going to be, and I'll whisper it to you.
You gonna cast meta magic it?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Remember at the beginning of the campaign when originally all magic was supposed to be chaos?
Yes, I do.
That would have certainly been interesting.
Yeah, it
A
would
lot
have.
of work, though.
It would have been a lot of work. And I put disproportionately way more work into this campaign than I did the other two. Just in terms of statistics.
Damn it. Okay. For Eric.
If you failed, please remember to consult your wish lawyer, aka.
Well,
/W
Eric.
space GM space message.
No, I got it.
So if I put on a song that's very appropriate for this, Eric, Caro, do not fucking watch the video. I swear to God.
Alright.
Oh,
Don't know what video
okay.
you're talking about, but you feel an immense well of energy manifest in your bosom, Sayako. Roll a Constitution save.
Okay, well.
I'll give you my reroll if you need it.
She is intending to give everything for this to happen. So
I guess everyone roll a Constitution save then.
Okay.
she looks around and she says,
Because
let's meet again in the next life.
Alright. Alright. Oh yeah, Ro's holding hands, by the way, with the tips of her fingers. She's
Ro is
she's in on the
adorable,
circle.
as always.
Alright, Reika and Tara.
Though it doesn't
And
need.
if anyone has any last words,
Reroll for Tara.
say them now.
My last word is give Tara my reroll.
I
I lay down my
think
reroll.
there's
Let's-
an impossible DC here, Jay Shala.
Oh.
Sayako has something to say. She says to the others, let's meet again in the next life.
Miriam Sho doesn't say anything. She just nods through tear-streaked cheeks.
May they remember. Remember that we once lived.
I'm glad I met you all.
Rose the first to go. From the tip of her tail, she slowly manifests into a star-like glitter that dissipates into the air. Swirling around, as does Maram Sho, and then Reika, and then Sayako. In front of Sayako, the basin slowly... It disintegrates into dirt, resting in a pile on top of the ashen wasteland. And you sit alone, Terra. About 2 feet to your right, there's a single emerald comb.
She puts it in her hair.
You want to do anything else?
I have a wish spell, but I don't know exact friend, so and I don't want. There's so much narrative pressure here, and
Just do what Tara would do. That means be a shitty person. Be a shitty person. Homura did nothing wrong.
I don't want to be
You're
left
cutting
in
out.
this bittersweet world. That has ever helped me before, but I don't be left alone in this bittersweet world, made to suffer the consequence. Y'all's decision. I want to see y'all. I want to take y'all everywhere. And now, you guys just decide to vanish just like that? I don't know who's out. I don't know what willpower I have remaining. But I wish that I can carry on with my friend in the flesh. And that's going to be her wish spell.
Alright, well, as you try to cast it, you realize that you're level 1.
Oh shit.
But it was a good narrative.
It was.
It was a good effort.
And with the sudden stillness of everything, your senses are all placated by the quiet, and what comes next is much more noticeable than it may have been without this quiet. You hear a the slow rhythm of footsteps behind you.
He turns around.
And there, holding Uzu, with his head draped over his shoulder, you see Koga.
You missed all the fun.
Am I voicing Koga?
If you want.
Well, I was a bit preoccupied. Apologies.
And reaching into his inventory, he tosses her another of the Mega Shuriken.
Here.
So, Koga, you're carrying Uzu for a very specific reason. You have successfully separated yourself and Uzu from the dream. And you are the only remaining vestiges of Amaterasu, Izanagi, and Izanami. In front of you is Terra, carrying with her the only potential the world has for another spirit world.
So the others have.
Yeah, they have.
Koga seems a bit sad, but he nods. He kind of understands.
You know how stubborn Reika and Arams.
And the fox girl. Yeah. Uzu told me about her.
Uzu's asleep, by the way.
So, what happens next?
What happens next is you take Terra to Ramui.
Let us proceed to Ramui, shall we? I think
Of
that is a
course.
good start. It's good to see you after all this time.
You want to
Well, I'm glad.
you want to put
Glad it worked out.
Do you want to put Uzu in the comb?
Do I want to put Uzu in the comb?
Yep.
Sure.
You go into the comb, and no longer is it a massive plain with the single massive cherry blossom tree. Now it is a tiny pasture nestled in the valley between some mountains, with a much smaller cherry blossom tree. And no longer does it have any inhabitants. No spirit dragon, no Tengu, no Omagatori. But, peeking its head out from behind the trunk, you see the Kodama that's been following you around all this time.
He smiles at the Kodama.
It sort of steps
Even-
out and puts its hands on its hips.
Even now, old friend, you walk with me. He's gonna put Ozuma to rest here. Not Ozuma, sorry, Uzu. Sorry, not Ozuma, Uzu.
You lean Uzu up against the trunk of the cherry blossom tree and go back to rejoin Terra.
Right. Ramui.
The two of
I should
you,
have enough bonk to just poof us
oh
there,
yeah,
right?
easily. The two of you nod to each other, and instead of any bonks, instead of any poofing, you take in the serenity and the quiet and the peace that this land has to offer. And you begin to walk. The Scorched contract and
So, what came about from Sayako's wish?
alright, so epilogue. I'll let everyone know what the wish was. By our souls and by our blood, I wish the world we knew to be reborn here on this soil. She resets the campaign, all the bad stuff. I'm just kidding.
That's fair.
So, back in Ramui. Well, it actually depends. Terra, do you go north or do you stay?
Stay for quite a bit. She'll eventually go north, but
Alright, how long are you staying?
2 years to see if everything's slowly coming.
Yep.
Think
Green returns to the land, as does life, and the spirits of all the creatures here re-find themselves in shells. Not long enough for you to reconvene with anyone you recognize, but before any of that happens, while it's still pretty barren and wastelandy, and you're chilling with Koga and Ramui, a large ship comes down from the north It's a ship you recognize as part of the Imperial fleet of Canaan, and it comes to dock on the ashy shores, and Mesrin Romstat from the Magistrate comes ashore, looks around, and says, "Huh, that's weird. There were reports that there were heretics here. I guess may have taken a wrong turn somewhere." Goes back on the ship, and they leave. You return north. Katsutora is gone. His strange disappearance is attributed to being of the same cause as Adel's strange disappearance, because, as it turns out, he's gone too, and they just figured Katsutora went with him. You see Leo. Do you want to join the Fairweather crew? You want to go do something else?
What I want for her to do is become a merchant on the SS show.
Alright, so you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You play for taverns, hiding your real identity until you're comfortable with coming out as who you are, and Canaan accepts you. They recognize that you are instrumental to many of the victories in the war that you served in, and it seems that the land as a whole has forgiven you your misdeeds. You end up being able to afford your own ship. It's just a small sailed ship that uses oars. You get a crew together. Name it the SS Katsutora.
No. The SS Katsu.
I'm not hearing the second word.
Katsu
Show.
show.
Katsu Show?
Yeah.
Katsu.
Yep.
The SS Katsu Show. Gotcha. And the end, I guess. Back in Ramui, probably a decade later, there is a small fox-tailed girl who is shooting very impracticed magical blasts at another little girl using a wooden bokudo dressed in a red gi. Sayako and Reika, you've both been reborn as children, and this time you're in much closer to proximity with one another. You don't retain any of the memories that you may have made, but you do feel the same sense of kinship and rivalry between one another. And as a sort of third wheel to your guys' really intense relationship, you have the ever-placative Marim Show, who tries to calm you down whenever things get too heated, but most of the time she's kind of losing herself in nature, or following butterflies around, or having fun in her classes.
Alright. So, baby Sayako was like, "You ready for this one? I'm not holding back."
You say that every time.
Big shadowy blast knocks your bokudo out of your hand, Reika, as Koga lowers his hand and says, "Come on, dinner's soon. What are you doing?"
Meanwhile, Marim comes running up. Hey guys, look at the pretty lizard I found! What do you think I should name it?
Ro looks up and chirps. It's barely as big as your hand.
I think... Chirp!
The
Okay,
small
so,
pseudo-dragon
yeah.
disagrees vehemently, and Koga sighs. He has been watching over one of the first villages to really establish itself in this strange new land. However, as best as he can tell between Sayako and Reika, yokai and man, they seem to tolerate each other.
I told you guys I would salvage this.
Alright, award ceremony.
I've got tears in my eyes.
Who is the Ramui Arc MVP?
Reika. Wait, are you still talking?
No, you guys have to decide. Alright, so that's one ballot cast for Reika. We have 5 people. I'm gonna vote 2. I vote for Isuru.
That's fair, but that's not fair.
Who's the MVP of the Ramui arc?
My vote also goes to Reika. Ramui was clearly her story.
All right, 2 Reika.
Reika had a really good arc there.
All right. Reika is now the proud owner of the MVP Ramui Award. MVP Anshin. I vote for
I'm the
Koga.
bestest.
Anshin?
Yeah, I definitely vote Koga for Anshin.
I agree. I'll
Actually,
agree.
either Koga or Shen. They both pulled some shit off over there.
Koga.
2 Koga. 3 Koga.
3 Koga if you're actually voting for him and not
Alright.
an NPC.
That's
No, wait.
I can't vote for Koga. That would be biased. So I'm gonna vote.
Why did
for,
I'm having a brain fart? What's his name? The guy with the mask.
oh.
Tokugawa.
Fuck that.
Tokugawa.
It's either Tokigawa Makiro or it's gonna be
There's an NPC award and
I would say Koga got more done than Makiro did. If anything, Makiro was pretty close to a least valuable player.
I was gonna say either him or Geki Kenko.
Geki was he was big bonk.
That's just before we go any further, because I didn't explain at the time. Reika tried to invite Mazu Mikaboshi
Oh yeah,
into
onto the path of Ningen.
Path of Humanity. Oh wow, that would have been kind of
Nice.
cool.
Yep.
Is there any way that would have succeeded, Eric? Possibly.
There is not.
But
That was a
bet
good
you
idea.
know,
I
so
voted
she
an
died.
alternate ending of the Scorched contract. He did, you know.
So Koga or Geki Kenko for MVP Anshin? I'm still voting for Koga.
I agree with
All right, Koga's the MVP of Anshin. MVP Omanatue.
Leo.
If only for mashed potatoes.
Gravy and mashed potatoes alone gives him my vote.
I think I'm gonna vote for Chi.
He wasn't in Omanatue.
Yeah, he was. He was in
Yeah, he was.
Kisa Kisaro.
Yeah, but that was really the Ina arc. Let's be real.
Yeah, but it was on Omanatue.
I'll give it to Leo. The party up and while Reika was gone.
Is that 3 Leos?
Leo.
All right, that's 3 Leos.
Fanfara Leo.
All right, Leo is the
Dad
MVP of
Barian for the
Omanatue. MVP for the Ina arc.
Amatsu Mikaboshi.
I'm gonna vote either Okurai or Sayako, or Mog. I think all 3 of those are really strong contenders. Seiken's also good, but
I'm gonna give it to Okurai because I can't give it to Sayako.
yes, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to Sayako. You know what? I get to be self-indulgent too.
All right, who's everyone else voting for?
Still Amatsu Mikaboshi.
Okay.
I'll agree with Sayako.
I vote for Psycho, so it doesn't matter if you're being self-indulgent or not.
All right, Sayako is the MVP of Ina. Who is the MVP for getting to Harinomasu, fighting Daiza, fighting each other, and then fighting Horosha Matsumikaboshi?
Reika.
Ma'am show.
Miram show.
Miram show.
She deserves it.
All right.
Genuine for that entire arc.
And I'm
And,
so sorry you rolled a 4 and were immediately knocked.
and now away from the generalist medals. Most character development, start to finish. Who ended up with the largest disparity?
Tara.
There.
Tara.
Mm-hmm.
Sayako's a
Mar-
close contender, but
Murder Hobo 2.
By God, I did it. I developed Terra. Alright, protagonist syndrome. Who got away with the most bullshit / evaded death the most?
Is this really even a question?
There was a character that literally died
Technically-
and came back to life in the campaign.
Technically, there's like 3 options here. Evaded death the most. Terra has spent the most time on the ground. Miriam shows the only one who was blatantly given a DM pass, and Reika is. So technically, there's 3 options here.
Who are you guys voting for?
Well, I gotta say, from an objective point of view, Miriam Show's not gonna die because I love her afro.
I need votes,
Nah.
guys.
Ah, this one's a
But
toughie.
that's science. That's driven by science.
This one's a toughie because like it's
Oh,
not.
we can't move
spoken.
on until you guys decide.
All right,
I mean,
all right.
we're-
It's not.
We've got plenty of time.
Listen, it's not spoken, but there's kind of a I'm the protagonist. No, I'm the protagonist going on between Sayako and Reika.
Oh, definitely. Just like it was there for courting Katsutora between Terra and Sayako. Sayako just picks fights.
She doesn't mean to. It's just she can't help it if everyone else is inferior to a daughter of Amaterasu.
Yeah, she just accidentally is the best. Deal with it,
She's just-
everyone.
Oops, I'm the best. My bad.
Other face value, the protagonist, and it's really a case of who is the protagonist. While we have an overarching story, there's
That-
still like strong contenders.
All right. Stuart, who's your vote?
Given that I literally
Warped fundamental rules of the campaign to bring Reika back. I'm kind of have to go for it.
All right. So Stuart votes for Reika. Robert, who is your vote?
Sue's daughter, Reika.
All right. So that's 2 for Reika. Shawnee, who you voting for?
I'm still sticking with Miriam Show.
All right. And Carol?
Miriam show, I've got to give it to her
Alright,
because
so-
there was very much clear favor.
I am the tiebreaker. I vote for Makiro. So it is Reika, Merim, Show, tie. You guys cut the medal in half and each of you take part. All right, next
Well, it's better
medal.
than the baby.
Next medal. The world, parentheses, and its dice, hates me. Who failed the
Terra.
most innocuous roles?
Terra.
Tara.
All right.
Terra.
Tara
Yep.
definitely fails
Terra.
that one.
Yep.
All right. Reika wins.
Did you ever roll more than a 1 for healing?
It may not have happened.
Apparently, I healed over 1,000 points of health.
So Reika wins Bloodthirsty with honorable mention to Robert in general because both of his characters put together actually beat Reika out. Not counting that last session anyways, which kind of tips the odds for Tara, just FYI, you did in this conclusion session about half the damage that you dealt throughout the entire campaign because you dealt 2,441. For this one, the firestorm plus the shuriken dealt more than 1,000 damage.
Nice.
She got to do her big bonk, and there was no need to focus
However,
on healing.
officially, Reika wins Bloodthirsty, despite how she was actually a pacifist. Tara,
Right.
Blood Lily.
Tara wins Babysitter, most healing done. Honorable mention goes to Koga, who was the person that carried around unconscious people for the most amount of time. Damage Sponge, most damage taken, also goes to Reika. Honorable mentions to Leo, who was here for a grand total of 5 encounters and still negated more damage than anybody else.
Nice.
I must break you.
Kill them with kindness. Who tried the most for diplomacy?
Miriam Show.
Gee, I wonder.
No.
This
Fuck
is
you.
no contest. We all.
It's gotta be Miriam Show.
Yeah.
All right. I like the shadows more than people. Which character was most prone to stealth archering?
Gee.
Koga.
Who?
I hang on. Is this purely player characters?
It can be whoever.
Stealth archery, you mean like literally?
That kind of is a tie between Koga and Shed then.
It's almost like they're shadow warriors or something.
They're
Like,
not
they're
All right,
really
let's
Neither
get
of them want
votes.
to be ninjas.
Let's get votes. Stuart.
Um. Just for honorable mentions, I'm gonna give this one to Shen.
All right, so that's a vote for Shen.
I vote for the entire Shadow Clan.
The entire Hidden in the Mist clan. All right, I'll allow that. Robert, who do you vote for?
every ninja that has ever existed, but mostly Shen, because I think Shen was a lot more effective in stealth.
Shen was pretty effective in stealth. Karo, who you voting for?
I'm actually going with Koga because he did a lot of shadowy stuff off screen as well.
All right.
That was beneficial to the world.
I'm going to vote for Koga purely because, yes, Shen and Koga both were very effective behind the scenes, but in direct conflict with each other, Koga ended up winning.
Damn.
So Koga, honorable mention to the entire Mist clan, parentheses, and every ninja ever. All right.
Including Moga.
No, Moga
Especially
wins.
Moga.
Moga wins. All right.
I mean, that was pretty great, the way he just appeared out of the pile.
Wait. Eric,
What's up?
In this reborn Ramui, Reika's a ninja.
Of course. Did I
She
say
has Koga
did I say
literally
Bokudo?
overplaying her.
She has shitty wooden shuriken that she carved in the forest.
I mean, she's
like
raised
to
by
imagine
basically
that
the
Terra
best ninja on
Hears
Ramui.
every now and then. The best ninja in the world, you mean?
All right. Beastmaster, who had the most aptitude for keeping pets?
Reika.
Reika. Except her pet died, unfortunately.
That's true.
avenged heartily.
Yeah, my pet was died a lot, but then she just came out of the cone.
I'm willing to tie this between Reika and Miriam Shu again.
All right. Most memorable boss battle.
Gosh, fucking, I gotta give it to the Storm King. That
Storm
shit was
Max.
nuts.
Mm.
Storm Max was nuts. I think it
Agreed.
will-
I didn't do much. But so fucking
Crit on a
crazy.
disadvantage.
I
Yeah,
think
that was pretty cray.
I think that was a little bit too spicy for the campaign, but whatever.
I don't know what that means, but I'll take it as a compliment. All right. Hardest boss battle.
Max.
Storm Max.
Also, Storm Max.
So it turns out I was right when I told you guys that he was probably going to be the hardest thing in the campaign.
I mean, technically that one where Shen whooped up.
That's
the
that. Yeah, that was just
It was a scripted loss.
that was just a combat cutscene. Favorite NPC arc.
NPC arc.
Katsutora.
Yeah, I'm tied between Kazutora and Shen.
Shen.
Also, Sayako never got to tap that, so.
I vote for Okurai. Hey, he was your ex. You guys can
Jen.
have done whatever you wanted to.
He was what?
You guys, he was your ex. You guys can have done whatever you wanted to in whatever ambiguous relationship you had.
Also, I'm just imagining like whenever baby Sayako except Koga, Reika's just like eyes off him, harlot.
He's your father, god damn.
It's adoptive, but yeah. So
Why-
that's 2 for Katsutora, 1 for Shen. I vote for Okurai. Well, actually, I'm tied between Okurai and Seiken.
Zeke did have a thing.
Yeah.
Mm,
It was a bad thing.
why do I have to choose between all the people I've killed?
I mean, you didn't kill Katsu if you want to swing it that.
Yet.
Yet, I mean, you might in this reborn world.
Stole lunch one too many times. For the honor of the clan, you must perish. You know what? Narratively, I really liked Shen's.
So that's 2 Shen, 2 Katsutora. And then I didn't vote for either of them. So are you guys going to make me tiebreak?
Yes.
Fuck
You could split
Katsutora.
it.
Shen wins.
They
Katsutora
can
can suck
split
my
it.
dick. No, fuck that guy. All right. I told you guys how Shen is my self-insert for the part of me that I think is cool. Of course I'm going to vote for Shen. Favorite player arc. Don't just pick a player, pick specifically the arc.
Favorite arc.
I personally vote for post-Reika death Koga. Honorable mentions to Sayako keeping up with her siblings.
Player arc.
Marum being a patron pimp was also pretty good. The whole of Terra on Omanatwe, also pretty good.
Yeah, Terra actually had a really good character arc there.
Yeah.
I'm willing to, yeah, of course I want to vote for myself because I think highly of myself and I fucking
No, vote
planned
for
this.
yourself.
But I do also like post-Reika Death Koga,
Punished Koga arc.
All
the
right,
punished Koga arc.
we got a tiebreaker. Is it Punished Koga or is it Omanatwe Terra?
I'm willing to split it if everyone else.
Sure. I vote myself most willing to split medals.
All right, so favorite player arc,
Neither.
Quota-
My internet cut out.
quote unquote, defeat your past Terra / punished Koga. All right.
You're writing all these down, right?
Of course. Of
I am.
course. Of course. All right. Most memorable NPC death.
I almost want to give it to Yuki because that was the first one.
It did show us that we're capable of messing up.
And
Whereas-
Yuki was like a good person that we didn't want to die, and
Whereas Morocco was taken advantage of by the DM to show us how evil Omanatwe was, kind of making it a little less effective because it was off screen.
Seiken,
dying was.
yeah,
Yeah, that was.
that was oof.
Yeah, that was a big oof too.
I can't really give it to Seekin.
I'll give it to the Gilgamesh clone too, yeah.
I'm glad he won at least one award. I love Seiken. All right. Most brutal moment.
Oh God, there's a lot, Eric.
There's a lot because our DM was an asshole.
Our DM is sadistic.
What was? Are you
Most
planning
brutal-
on
Yeah,
playing
you're
with
done
me again?
DMing this.
Egg. That was the most brutal moment, fighting over the egg.
Yeah, I gotta give it to
I'm
the
gonna
egg
vote
conflict.
I'm gonna vote for when Marum Show realized she was the only one that tried to preserve things.
I mean,
Fighting over the egg. That classifies as fighting over the egg.
Sure.
fighting over
So
the
like,
egg.
I think we're all in agreement.
Egg
Yeah,
conflict. All right.
egg conflict.
Most emotional moment.
Seeing our frigging family
Everything
members
Marum Show does.
one more time. Also, yeah, Marum Show has a penchant of getting very emotional.
Everything Marum
Revisiting
Show
the
does.
past prior to egg. Well, at least these ones are unanimous. All right. Favorite magic item.
The comb.
I mean, the comb is pretty cool.
All right, that's 2 votes for the comb.
The violin was useful because it let us do some side questing stuff.
I'm trying to think.
Super
What was
was.
my favorite magic item? My favorite magic item was probably the urn.
I'm glad I got to
yeah,
use...
there's also the urn.
Okay, yeah, the urn.
Yep. I'm glad I got to use Doriyoshi's big bonk at least once, though.
Of course.
All in agreement for the urn?
Urn.
The urn parentheses mundane, by the way.
A mundane urn wins the most. Yup.
All right,
Sounds
most
about right.
If you're going to split the R, I would have went with the comb.
actually, just because of this next medal, I kind of want to give favorite magic item the comb. This next one is most infamous magic item.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Okay,
yeah. Comb
Fucking
and then
urn.
most infamous the comb.
Okay. Spirit World comb. Most creative spell usage.
Wish.
Sayako's wish.
I vote.
Sayako's first
I
wish.
vote for the Zongan Shun anti-magic field.
Ooh, yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, I'm a little torn because the fucking wish and using it to incorporate Madarasu's chakra into Sayako. That was a big fucking moment for Sayako.
On the one hand, though, like, wish spells require you to be creative. So that's just kind of a part of the package.
But I mean, it represents a few things when she did that. It represented her taking, things into her own hands.
I am going to give it to Sayako's wish purely because after asking for my advice, she did the exact opposite of what I suggested.
What did
Yup.
you suggest?
I suggested bringing him Amaterasu back.
Surprise. Eater.
And I was like,
All right.
all right, Mom,
Most
get in my belly.
climactic moment.
Oh boy, there's a few.
boy.
I'm gonna vote for when you guys very first saw corrupted Sayetsu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the corrupted
we
Sayako
saw-
battle was...
Either when we saw him or when Reika killed him.
I think that whole fight was pretty climactic.
It
Yeah.
showed us what we were all in for. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Most tuxedo mask NPC.
Fuck
Tuxedo
you.
Mask, how?
Fuck you.
Mysterious and thinks he's important but doesn't do anything.
Gee, this
This,
this seems a bit one-sided, Eric.
who could this possibly be?
Unless, of
Well,
course,
I mean-
I vote for
take into the
Katsutora.
fact that Hirosha did technically do something by preserving the.
He literally
So-
created it. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not
Technically,
voting.
he
I'm not
did
voting for
something.
Makiro at all. I'm voting for
Wait.
Katsutora. If not him, then Shamiwa. Shamiwa was fucking useless. If not Shamiwa, then yeah, those are my two big
Let's see. Katsutora, Shamiwa. Oh, who was that other fucker? I'm trying to remember. What was that? The fucking the Fairweathers NPC that joined us for all of 5 seconds before she backed out.
Oh yeah,
Sasha.
Sasha. Sasha was
Sasha
pretty
did
dixie
a
dumbass.
lot.
Yeah, Sasha helped
She
us.
burned
All right,
all of the
can we vote? Can we vote on player characters?
Yeah.
All right. That frickin' half Tengu rogue.
Okay, fine.
person.
I'm
No
just gonna
offense to
say Inuyasha. All right. Most popular ship.
Eric quickly swung me towards Shenyako really quickly. But
The
that's-
the White Claw. That was my favorite ship.
But the weird pseudo tryst between Sayako, Terra, and Katsutora was pretty fun.
I like Terra and Katsu, but I also really like what Terra and Miram Show had going. Because like in a universe where this got popular, there are fan debates over who Terra belongs with more. Let's be real.
Oh, of course there are. Also,
That
Koga
said-
and Shen were secretly gay the whole time. You know it.
True.
There's also a bit of Koga and Reika in there too. Let's be real.
See, I was gonna say the Koga Reika ship, but that didn't really develop at all.
That's too mainstream.
It's way too.
Yeah,
mainstream
You're
to
right.
develop.
Koga
You're right.
Koga Reika is Sasuke Sakura.
I mean, that's insulting.
Good.
That is very insulting.
All right, so what am I giving the award to? I think I'm personally gonna vote for Sayako Koga or Sayako Shen too.
She just took one look at that and she's like, "Whew, oh my god."
I don't know why I made him just a fucking hyper ripped bodybuilder with his shirt
I'm
off.
feeling something I haven't
in that
felt
one
for Immortal
moment.
in 60 years.
My mind telling me no.
I'm with
my
Terra Show.
body.
I like that idea.
All right.
I like that.
Terem Show. We got 2 for Shenyako. I think you're the tiebreaker, Stuart. Are you gonna even it up? Are you gonna make Shani decide?
Well, I like Kieran's show just because it's one of those things that just occurred to me, and I was like, wait, this makes sense.
All right, that's
This explains
2-2.
everything.
That's 2-2. What's it gonna be, Stuart?
Are we gonna split the medal?
If you vote for another one, then you get the secret ending most popular ship. Pick a third one so I can tell you what the secret
fuck
ending
y'all.
is.
Fuck y'all, I'm voting for the Kadama and their teacup.
Alright. So the winner of the award goes to Tokugawa Makiro and Tokugawa Makiro.
Beautiful.
Terra Show it is. Well, with the split of Shinya.
It's funny.
Shenyako and Terem Show. Honorable mentions. Alright, most yandere.
Terra.
Chiharu.
Chiharu is pretty yandere, yeah.
Remind me what yandere means again.
Obsessive.
I mean, seeing her like in the throes of depression was a blow to the gut for Sayako. Like, oh my god.
I'm gonna say that's more tsundere than yandere with Chiharu.
Chiharu is... She does not mask her feelings in the slightest.
A tsundere
Yeah, but
is
I also
outwardly
Gonna
aggressive,
kill
but
someone for love.
I would say Reika is the most tsundere.
true.
I would say actually it's probably a tie
It's not-
between Reika and
It's not
Shen.
like I like you or anything, Babaka.
Yeah,
Says Baka
I
in
actually,
Japanese.
I actually can't decide between Reika and Shen for tsundere.
Oh, that's a ship.
That is
Nobody
that
voted
is good
for
shit
it.
too. Yeah.
Sayako
was
is
a ship.
going to tear some throats out if that's a ship.
Sayako is
off.
gonna have to learn to share. God damn it! Fucking whenever Reika walks in, Shen just throws a weakness charm at Sayako. And then
Oh, that's brutal.
hey, it's to protect Reika, okay? It's to make sure blood does not get shed.
Hey, no, I'm a ninja. I have the ranged options. You're cleared to shit.
All right, Yandere, who's winning? We got Terra, we got Chiharu.
I'd say definitely Terra, just from the minute Sayako walked in.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Yandere goes to
She
Terra.
also did kind of, suggestion want to be boyfriend. So, yeah.
Yeah, Terra's a little bit of a rapist, slightly. All right,
Everyone's a little bit rapist.
and tsundere. My vote is Shen / Reika. Whichever.
I'm okay splitting it.
I actually want to give it to Shin because, like, Reika doesn't seem like she masks her emotions. She just seems,
Really
forward.
nonchalant.
yeah. So I'll vote for Shin.
Shen.
All right, Shen is a tsundere, and the relationship is the plot, and the other party is you guys.
Mhm.
All right. We're getting to the end. This medal is called literally Jotaro Kujo.
Who's Jotaro Kujo?
Yeah, I already does it.
Yare
We're not voting. It's just Reika.
True.
This is Eric's personal award
Yep.
then.
Yep. Literally Goku is Sayako.
True. Goku, if Goku had self-confidence issues.
Sure. Where is it? The only Mary Sue I'll ever be okay with is Maram Show.
In a party of
you
Mary
can't say no to
Sues.
Capcom.
And finally, the only bard that has ever made it to the end of one of my campaigns.
Let me see.
You could say she was the only character that made it to the end of your campaign.
The only
This-
cat girl that made
yeah?
it to the end of your campaign.
This entire thing has been to kill Terra, and yet she's the only one who survived.
Eric's plan backfired.
She's gonna repopulate the world with a race of cat girls.
Kill me.
That brings another question up: is if Katsutora gets reborn, does it become Ara Katsutora-san as she looms over him?
Problem.
There you guys go.
Terra is definitely visiting Izuni from time to time, especially with the whole merchant thing. There's plenty to be had there. So,
Alright, so you got Papa Koga and Grandma Terra.
Yeah.
Quick question. When Zako was reborn, how many tails did she have?
One.
Yeah.
You have
Actually,
tail.
no.
Alright.
I guess. I think. Hold on, it's a decade later.
3/4.
Uzu's now 22. You're probably about 7 or 8.
if it's a decade
And-
later,
Yeah.
well, yeah, because there's the whole. Yeah.
Uzu, I'm now the new Ozuma.
Uzu has 9 tails and you have 8.
Wow, holy shit. He's 22 and he has 9 tails.
He was the last vestige of what Amaterasu represented.
Yep. I guess that is
Dang.
fair. That said, you know. That said, I guess no. Sayako couldn't really remember her past, so she probably wouldn't be as clingy about her big brother, but then again, who knows?
It's probably an inherent
it's kind
instinct.
of just something that develops.
She literally created a living copy of everyone with the wish spell.
that is
So-
that is gradually going to inhabit things. You basically, what your wish spell did is you preserved every individual spirit instead of just redistributing the energy of life. So everyone that has lived will live again, hopefully a fruitful life before concluding naturally.
Yeah,
So,
Hopefully
basically.
full of muffins.
so,
It's the best ending I could have hoped for, actually.
so Sayako's the new Amaterasu.
Saiko's the new Ozuma, actually.
Yep.
Uzu is the new
Uzu is the
Amaterasu.
new Amaterasu. And Koga is very weirdly Sayetsu. He's also doing the Izanagi-Izanami tandem job way better than either of them ever did.
Well, yeah, he's not arguing. So,
Oh, Reika and Sayako should fight over who gets to be who.
So small scene, it clips to Sayako having fallen and busted her knee up when she was like 5, and Koga's like, you know what, as he's bandaging it, I'm gonna make everyone learn how to do this, so maybe some other Koga somewhere isn't gonna be solely responsible for cleaning up the injuries of his stupid fucking group. So now
Tara just, like,
medical
call-
training is a required Onmyoji course. It's in the curriculum.
I get to be Izanagi this time. You get to be the one sitting in the scrolls for the entire campaign.
All right. And with the epilogue and the awards done,
What a ride.
we are going to
Jesus
go
Christ.
into any foreboding questions you guys may have.
I got one. When Tara used the suggestion, we'll call it, to temporarily, quote unquote, make Katsutora on speaking terms with her again,
Yep,
it stuck.
it sure did.
what
Why
the
did it
fuck?
stick?
I've been waiting for this answer for like months now.
It stuck because you cast it in the Feywilds.
Oh.
So yeah, illusion spells kind of actually affect reality.
Yeah,
in the
you.
Feywilds.
Funnily enough, some of you guys had the spell. You never thought to try it. Minor illusion was just create object.
Oh my god.
You guys could have pulled some bullshit with that. Thankfully, you never
Ah,
discovered it.
If I had known that. Infinite Shuriken Buffet.
Infinite Shuriken Buffet.
What would I have cheesed?
I'm gonna create a Reika, but
I mean,
she is a
you-
smaller
You could
Reika.
have had basically infinite money.
She's a smaller, slightly smaller, fits within a 5-foot cube size Reika.
She's Funko Pop right?
If Robert hadn't have done that thing, the only thing I can think of Tara could have remotely wished for was for her to go back 101 some odd years into the past and be the wild from there, since that's what led to the whole thing. But
Any other foreboding questions on the table?
Why would?
Yeah,
why
Fuck! I
would
forgot.
Kenko-
I forgot something. Tara,
What?
When you left Izuni, a small mark inscribed itself on your left hand.
Oh yeah, you did kind of forget that,
Yeah,
didn't
you're a novice on the path of Kukyo, and we'll say parallel to you running your business, Mog ends up finding you. He's mastered the path, and him and Okurai are in occasional contact with one another. So we'll say you guys became best buds.
Nice.
Yeah, here's my forbidden question. Did you not let me have that thing at the end because you did not have anything ready for that possibility?
No, I kind of made everything up. Amatsu Mikaboshi. Part of what it represents is something that it can't win if you guys also win. Unless Maram Show does it.
Yeah, because my thinking was they didn't have a place in the universe. So Reika was like, okay, maybe if we let you in, but you're not the one like who gets to melt the mind of the guy who brought you in. Maybe that will do something.
It was inspired, but unfortunately it didn't work like that.
Any more?
Yes. How did Geki Kenko end up in the final line?
So that was represented by Horosha's capability to pull up anything. So what Amatsu Mikaboshi, having eaten Horosha, did was it gave Amatsu Mikaboshi Horosha's creation potential. If it hadn't been fighting you, it could have dreamt up something identical in power or magnitude to the dream that you guys existed in. Basically, Amatsu Mikaboshi had eaten everything by that point, and it could conjure up anything that it had eaten. So, the people in front of it, it hadn't eaten Ozuma. Ozuma was the only thing it hadn't eaten. So basically, what was there was representative of who was facing him. Geki Kenko was the closest it could get to you, Maram Show.
So, it basically wasn't even the real Geki Kenko.
No, it was.
Like a mock-up of him?
So remember, the dream is exactly as real as what it's a reflection of. Every single one of those Susanoo was a real Susanoo. That Geki Kenko was the real Geki Kenko. The fragmented Horosha, that was the real Horosha.
So the only one who was real among those was Ozuma.
The only thing that was the original was Ozuma, yes.
Yeah.
I take it the fake Horosha being carried was Amatsu Mikaboshi?
Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah. It was Amatsu Mikaboshi interacting with you guys with the residual knowledge that Tokugawa left behind. So basically throughout the entire campaign, Makiro was being consumed by Amatsu Mikaboshi, which is why he got weaker and weaker and why he couldn't leave Anshin. He had to stay close to Ishike Musho.
Makes sense.
I'm going to think of something later, I'm sure, but right now... Dang, that ending.
You guys beat the game.
I just love the idea of Mog also being on this boat, Terra, and when they come to Izuni, Mog's just...
Mog can solo the propulsion. You don't need any oarsmen. Mog will just do it himself.
Mog is a big boy. He's a big beast boy.
He's very large.
He's a JoJo character. If you were to take a
I'm adding an award. The award for best boy. It goes to Mog.
Terra.
Mog. No, Tara's the worst boy.
I
Well-
don't know. Mog being
Oh
the
my
best
God.
boy.
Mog
Mog
is
is our speedwagon.
Mog is the best boy.
He's basically, what if you were to take a Figma of part 1 through 3 JoJo character, take off its head, and you put a World of Warcraft orc head on it.
Basically, yeah.
That's
You
what you
get
do.
Do your speedwagon.
Combine the stand's
speed-
capabilities with the person.
He's speedwagon. 100%.
Whew.
Hey Robert,
Yo,
did you like the music choice?
I think it was really good for how we decide to conclude things.
Yeah, I've had
Neither of you watched that fucking video.
Ever. Don't ever watch it.
Oh yeah, I know.
No.
It's big spoilers. I had Sorairo days planned for a long time.
Yeah, I gave you like the non-vocal one because it lips better. Super Robot Wars, but
I don't care.
yep.
So, what part of the campaign was most fun for you?
Most fun for me?
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of the campaign was Anshin. Anshin and then Ina in a close second. Ina because I got to design a whole bunch of really big yokai, and a lot of my favorite tropes were present, such as the spirit world. I knew that Shen's arc was going to come to a close, and Okurai was one of my favorite NPCs. However, Anshin was a great segue away from... Well, at the start, it was a great segue using the Sayetsu fight away from run around the grassy starting plains and really get elbow deep in what's going on here. You have a wizard who can't puzzle things out. You have some weird things going on with cloaks that say invisibility but don't have any enchantments on them. You have a shady leader figure in Shamiwa. You have a fortune teller lady. You have Makiro, and you have my personal favorite setting, which is a sort of an oasis desert city. And then all the establishments outside of that are just encampments. I really like Anshin.
Yeah.
Oh, did we have an award for most most overpowered NPC? Or most helpful NPC?
I'll do both of
In terms
those.
of power?
Most overpowered and most helpful. What do you guys think?
Most overpowered goes to Mog. Her
Technically,
namer capability.
oh wait, yeah. Yeah, if Mog had higher than 9 intelligence, Mog could have swept the whole campaign.
Yeah, but so could Tibble.
Tybalt,
Oh yeah, Tybalt's a good one
Very
too.
helpful.
Tybalt was pretty overpowered.
Yeah.
I'm down for splitting it between Tybalt and Mog.
My vote goes to Tybalt, though.
Tybalt.
Alright, sounds like Tybalt.
Yeah.
Tybalt it
Tybalt
is.
is like, oh, you're cursed and doomed to
Fixes
a
everything.
destiny? Here. Get in the box. I'm gonna kill your mind, then kill your body, and create a copy of you, and reconstitute
It's
your
fucking
soul
Tybalt's
inside
like,
this copy.
wait, this is a fantasy campaign? Oh, he looks at his watch. Oh shit, my Cyberpunk 2077 roll isn't for another couple weeks. Oops.
Oh yeah, what the hell does Tybalt do? Presumably he comes and helps out someone.
Oh no, oh right, yeah, Epilogue Tybalt successfully undergoes the contingency and teleports everyone out. Nobody goes with him. He comes back, he researches, and he helps Koga. Koga explains what's happened. Tybalt sort of leaves Terra to her peace. And I'm going to say Tybalt joins the Cananian Magistrate.
And hopefully they aren't gonna subjugate New Izuni, because that would be terrible,
They
Eric.
can't because Tybalt's now a part of the magistrate, and he's gonna fuck all of them up if they try.
Good,
Yeah.
Eric.
Not to mention, Terra would definitely help from the inside. This ain't my first rodeo. You leave my friends alone.
Let's see.
You want your supplies?
Right, yeah,
Do you really?
most overpowered, most obnoxious NPC.
Ah,
Makiro.
Makiro.
Makiro. But obnoxious in a good way.
Most helpful is still Tybalt. It's the same thing.
I think I'm gonna use this one. Most underutilized magic item. Can you guys guess?
Well, if it was something we thought about, then it wouldn't be underutilized.
Well, I'm telling you that there was an underutilized magic item.
Let me see. The Emeralds of Susanoo?
No.
Well, that was the only guess I had.
Oh, speaking of those, did I ever tell you what told the art guys I realized I should have done when Susanna was like, yeah, pick anything in front of you?
It was the Vials of Moonlight, by the way.
Yeah.
For the
Oh, I forgot
Oh, yeah.
to use that last big bonk.
Yep.
Yeah.
I realized.
I was holding on to that for the right moment, and it never quite.
You
I
and
never
your
got to figure
goddamn
out what those
elixirs.
canisters did.
Yes, I have a big complexion.
What
symbol.
canisters?
Tokugawa and Makiro just foisted some mysterious canisters onto Koga that you could use with the fucking Wind
Oh yeah, Wind Fury Cataclysm.
Cataclysm. Yeah.
He used those in the fight to defend Izanagi from Shen.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna say that's what turned the tide, because Koga kind of had a handle on it in general. Shen was very spent at that point, but that is what literally blasted Shen off of the side of Urumasimata.
So what did they do? Were they just explodey or?
They dealt 0 damage to creatures, but they
Okay.
dealt maximized damage to structures. So you've got the 8d10, you got the 8d10 damage bonus from having a dragon's maw. It just deals 80 structure damage, and I don't think any structure has more than that health. Like, that's an absurd amount of damage. So
Yeah.
we just exploded Shen off of Urumazimata. Shen didn't take any
Jesus
damage,
Christ.
but
Jesus Christ, give those to Leo. He crits, that's 300 and... No, that's more. Fuck.
it's too much.
400 damage.
It's too much damage. Minus, it doesn't even have mods attached. 400 minus mods.
What
What's up, Shawnee?
happened to Shen 2.0?
To Shen 2.0?
Yep.
Is high good or bad?
High is wonderful.
Shen is far and above the best little kid samurai in Ramui right now. And he's got a little bit of a crush on Sayako.
Adorable.
And Koga is very weird around him. Koga gives Shen a lot of weird looks. He's like, It almost
Yeah.
seems like every time he sees Shen in class or walking around town, he idly rubs at some phantom bruises.
Yeah, it's gotta be awkward for Papa Koga and Grandma too.
Koga's also not a person. He's living shadows with like weird amalgamous colored eyes. Like, he's really clearly not mortal.
He'd
like
probably wrap himself up to make himself appear more like.
oh yeah,
a
sure.
bride does,
He
but-
looks like how he looked when he activated the Path of Kuro, except all the time.
Still doesn't have his doctorate.
Sure, yeah, he does not have a doctorate. He can only lead
Okay.
others to a treasure he himself cannot possess.
Okay. But imagine though, Eric. Imagine he's like, "Hey Tybalt, there's some conclusion I want to lead in my life. So, do you know any schools for medicine?" And he just walks into class one day, and just this amalgamate shadow sits down in his chair, looks around.
The person next to you, his desk just slowly starts melting in proximity.
Oh man.
I think I'll give you guys like 7 more minutes to think of questions, and then I'm gonna stop the recording.
Tara constantly bringing gifts for the kids from around the world.
Do we get a foreboding hint onto what your next possible campaign might be?
No. However,
No.
I've given Peter permission to take my materia idea for having, instead of magic items, you have slottable magic components that you can put into mundane items.
Oh yeah.
I was puzzling it out with him, and we decided that it would be cooler to have, like, if you have an item that has more than one materia slot, instead of being able to put multiple magic bonuses on one item, the bonuses sort of amalgamate and change into a mix between the two if they're in the same item. So like
Yeah.
having a +1 materia plus like an on-hit 1d4 fire damage materia, if you combine them, it's not just a +1 weapon that deals 1d4 fire damage, it's some kind of weird mix between the two.
I am actually really tempted to steal that.
I'm really proud of the idea. Like I'm real excited to use it or have it used and make fun of whoever's doing it not as good as I could do it. Let's see. There was one thing I wanted to say. Right. I told you guys how the best ending that you missed out on when Reika went berserk for Daiza on the coast was working with Daiza to get rid of Amatsumi Kaboshi, right?
Yeah.
No.
That was the best ending. Was hearing
Yeah.
out Daiza on the shore and learning what he was all about a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't have killed her dad.
Daiza has a very, very bad case of reconcilable motives, but was also a little bit Hitler.
You'd think Tara had some bad choices in her life.
At least Daiza was successful with his bad choices.
Well, that's all any of us could ask.
He was also much more at peace with them.
I thought he was miserable and wishing for death.
Towards the end, yeah, because like
Amatsu
So-
started
so there
taking
were-
it out on him.
there were stages to what Daiza was going through, right? And the really bad stuff didn't start happening until a couple days before you guys actually got to him on Harino Masu. Like that was when he was like, "All right, Shen, just bring me the fucking Naginata so I can do my best to end it now because this is unbearable. This is absolutely awful."
Shen, you wouldn't believe the day I had today.
The dude gouged his eyes out. He cut his
Oh,
arm off. He was going through some shit.
What would you have done if I'd used my death crit success to like just off Daiza?
The campaign would have been very interesting because it would look like all the bad stuff that was happening fixes itself because Amatsumi Kaboshi no longer has a window into the dream. You guys would have gotten to Harino Masu. You would have seen the wasteland it was. It would have been a little better than it had been. You would have seen the cathedral, seen the egg without anyone ever telling you what it was. Shen probably would have... I don't know what Shen would have done, because I think if you had killed Daiza there, that was before Daiza had explained to Shen everything he knew. So Shen would have been like, what the fuck? You know, I was talking to that guy. And you guys would have been like, you were talking to that guy? Why? And he was like, I don't know. He kind of seemed like he was on a school shooter path and wanted to prevent that. I was hanging out with a weird kid.
So those legendary resistances we never used.
Hey, I used one once.
The reason I gave you guys those legendary resistances was so that Reika could succeed on a check that Sayetsu failed, and then I forgot to make Reika make that save. So,
Oh man, what if I used the legendary resistance in that very last moment, that very last
with the con saves,
save?
you guys
Yeah.
succeeded on those.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yep.
But what if
What would have
happened
happened
had
if
they
we
failed?
I just did them for suspense. Nothing would have happened if they failed. It was DC 1.
That's the best DC.
The irony was that I was saving mine for the Shen fight, just in case I had to, like, ward off the shuriken.
I was saving mine for the final boss, but we kind of fucking tore it apart.
Both of them were easy and cinematic, because that's, in my opinion, how final bosses should be. And that's why you guys had to deal with Stormax way earlier, was because I also want to try and fuck you occasionally.
I'm flattered, Eric, but I'm not in.
No biggie. I'm good with rejection. Besides, Karo gets enough.
Well, there you go. Back and over.
Yeah, it's